Do it. Play your drum. I'm just wearing this because it's freezing in here. It's still the middle of March, not even spring, but it's cold. It's cold in the studio today. Hey, welcome back to Facilitation Fridays. I'm Kalani. Today I'm going to be talking about something that I've been ranting on in the past, but I just want to share some stories with you, make a few arguments to help us do a better job as music facilitators and facilitators in general, of facilitators of peace, of harmony, of joy, of communication. So my question for you today is conducting the same as facilitating? And the reason I ask this is I've been seeing more and more people use the term facilitate or I facilitated when they're really clearly talking about conducting. And I'll give you an example in a little bit, but I want to share with you a story, actually two stories. One was way back in like the early 2000s. I was running a course and there was a gentleman that came and he got up out of his seat. We're doing like a drum circle, right, or drumming experience. And we're all playing. And he went over and stood in front of another participant and he started like gesturing and, you know, like trying to get her to change what she was playing. And she eventually just stopped and was like, what are you doing? What do you want? You know, and he said, and I'm totally serious right now. He said, I'm facilitating you. Another time, I was in China doing, I had been doing a workshop on traditional music, world drumming, you know, based on the World Rhythms program. And it was towards the end of the day. And there was a woman that said, hey, can we do a drum circle and can I facilitate? Would you mind if I facilitated? And I'm like, no, that's fine. You know, we had a little extra time. So I was like, fine. So we set up, you know, in a circle. It was about 30 people in the group. And this person had just recently finished attending a facilitator training by a facilitator guru. And we set up. We started playing. Everybody started playing. These are all music teachers, so everybody's playing. It sounds pretty good. You know, there's no problem. We're playing. We start playing. It's pretty loud, actually. So, you know, because you get 30 people drumming in. This is inside. It's kind of loud, but no problem. Other than the volume being kind of loud, it was no problem. But within 20 seconds of starting, this woman stands up, gets in the middle of the group, starts doing all this dividing, you know, like dividing a section and stopping people, and she stops most of the group or half the group, or maybe it was 3/4 of the group, I don't remember. And she's like got this one section, and then she's like looking at other sections, and she starts doing all this, what we call slicing and dicing, and basically like, you know, conducting all these little things. And she was doing a great job of doing that, and I felt like maybe she was trying to show her facilitation skills or, you know, her conducting skills. And as a musician, as a conductor, she was doing great. But again, I was like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? I think in her mind, she thought that's what facilitating was. And so my question is, let's step back for a second and think about what the goal is, what the purpose is, what our role is as a facilitator, and is conducting the same as facilitating. I've also seen people say, for example, I facilitated a stop, or I facilitated the volume coming down, you know, by getting up and making hand gestures to lower the volume. Well, again, you know, facilitating a process is one thing, but just standing up and conducting it, because conducting is a command, you know, conducting is commanding. You're not asking people to do something, you're telling them to do something, right? It's a direct order. It's not necessarily giving people the option. You're not saying, hey, let's, you know, maybe slow down or let's maybe reduce the volume. It's just a command. So, you know, if you're the one that's being conducted, it's not like they're asking you what you want to do. It's basically an order, or you know, you're dictating to people what to do. So should we be using the term facilitate when we're really talking about commanding people or conducting. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying that there isn't a time and a place where conducting can be effective and appropriate. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying all conducting is bad. But I am asking us to step back, look at what our supposition is, our idea of what are the elements of a musical experience that we value, and how can we better support those values through our actions. So I'll give you an example. If you want to do what we call a drum circle, which is an improvised drumming experience where people get to choose what they do, how they participate, it's all about freedom, improvisation, contributing what you want to contribute as a participant, and letting the music be this kind of organic community creation that is not planned and that is not controlled by any one person or any one member. It's kind of just a community creation. And what I think is nice about that is that people are free to contribute. They're free to make mistakes. They're free to maybe play a little too loud at times, and then listen and make adjustments and find their own way, and thereby learn how to be more musical, how to listen, how to be maybe a better member of the community through trial and error, through experimentation, through just doing it, right? That would be the idea of a drum circle. So when we stand up and start conducting, are we supporting that idea, or are we changing it into something else? And are we doing something that is actually clearly not that, with the idea that we are going to get closer to that by doing that intervention of conducting? You can probably guess where what my take is, where I stand on the answer to that question. In other words, if our goal is to get to, let's say our goal, we're at A and we want to get to B, should we do C to get to B, or can we just do more of B? In other words, if we want to improvise and create community music and a community feeling, then why don't we just do more of that instead of doing something else that stops us doing that, and that takes us to another place, which is more like following one person, with the idea that that's going to help us learn how to listen to each other better, or what? We're going to learn how to be better, we're going to be more creative if we have to follow directions from somebody. All right, is that a fair question? Are you with me? So I'd like to know what you think. Do you think conducting and facilitating should be used as interchangeable terms? Do you feel like, if you want to call something a drum circle, which is an improvised community music making experience, should somebody be standing up and getting in the middle and telling everybody what to do? And if they should, support your answer, how much of that would be appropriate as opposed to too much? When do we cross the line? Are there other ways to reach the same result? Which is what I believe. Could you just do it musically? Do you have to use gesturing and talking and hand signals? Or could you do it through other means, like changing the way you play and introducing some other musical elements that then people could catch on to? So that's the question, and it's just something to think about. I'm definitely more in the camp of let's not conduct unless we absolutely need to, unless there's a really good reason to. I wouldn't just assume that conducting equals facilitation. I do not believe that. But I know there's people that train in that kind of modality, and obviously, that's what they've been taught. So, I don't know. I want to know where you guys stand. So you can leave your comments below. I hope this is helpful. Thanks for tuning in to World Drum Club. This has been another installment of Facilitation Fridays. You can get your shirt like this right below this video, and if you're not already, make sure you join the channel by subscribing. Give us a thumbs up if you like what we're doing here, and consider joining us at patreon.com/Kalani to become a supporter. Thanks for watching.